Happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm Kelly Manzone. We are continuing to combine kettlebell movements with stick mobility. So if you joined me last week, we are going to be progressing 2 out of the movements and introducing 2 new movements this week. We're going to need our stick mobility bundle, so the 2 long sticks, 1 short stick, and if you need a pillow or a pad for your knee, at the end of class we'll be doing a half kneeling position. I just want to make sure that my Wi-Fi is connected. Okay, good, we're on. So we're going to start with our warm-up with a single stick. We're going to go into bow and arrow, and the camera flips me, so even though this is my left side, I'm going to say that it's my right side so that you could follow along. We're going to take our stance a little bit wider than hip width, and you're going to place the stick about 3 inches out from the midline of your right foot. Your left hand, you're going to rotate the palm forward, thumb down, hold up high, and then your bottom right hand is going to find around where the stick mobility sticker is, and you're going to send the hips out first, then press out with the upper body. And with that top left arm, kind of leverage it a little bit so you can feel that lat activate. Your inside right shoulder, instead of it being hiked up towards your ear, relax that shoulder down away from the ear. From here, we're going to go into a little bit of flossing as we're warming up. So you're going to push down into the stick with a little bit of tension, take it forward onto the sagittal plane, and then outward onto the frontal plane. As you're flossing, the feet are staying connected to the floor, so it's best if you're barefoot or in a minimalist shoe, especially since we're doing some kettlebell work today too. And from here, I want you to do a little bit of a hold, then angle, look upward towards the ceiling. So the tailbone comes under a little bit, angle up, hold, and then slowly come out of the stretch. We're going to go over to our left side. So you're going to take your stance again, a little bit wider than hip width. This time, right palm, holding up high, left hand, midway through, right around the hip line. Sending the hips out first, follow through with the upper body, pausing here for a moment. Chest is going to stay still, hips stay still, just the arms move as you go forward onto that frontal plane and then outward, forward onto the sagittal plane, then outward onto that frontal plane. I just realized that my son removed the sticker from the stick. I don't know why, but he does that sometimes. Hold here. And now we're going to take that inside shoulder, relax it, angle, look upward towards the ceiling, pause here for a moment, breathe into the position, and then slowly come out of it. We're going into another bow and arrow, but we're going to change the direction. So going back over to our right side, you're going to take the stick back behind you on a diagonal, and we're going into a little bit of a standing bridge. So now that left hand is going to reach back, take the stick, leverage it to the floor, start to send the hips forward as you press back with that bottom arm. And again, activate, we use a little leverage with that top left arm. So as you're pushing into the feet and the hips are coming forward, square towards the camera, you want to squeeze into your glutes and think of lifting up and out of the lower back rather than crunching into your back. And then slowly come out of the stretch. Going up and over to the other side, so you're to your left. Anchor the bottom of the stick to the floor. Reach, right arm comes across. Grip the ground with the feet, send the hips forward. At the same time, you start to press back with the upper body and then leverage with that top right hand. Breathing into the stretch, pushing down into the stick, just a little bit of tension. Angle, look up towards the ceiling. Just make sure you're not throwing your head back. Hold here, and then slowly come out of the stretch. We're going to take the stick now to our lower back. Wiggle out so that you're, again, slightly wider than hip width. Hinging forward, this right side, we're going to keep our hips still at the moment. So this right side is going to come across to the left, getting a little bit into the T-spine and a little bit into that front line, right into the pec, into the shoulder, down the bicep, and into the forearm. From here, I want you to look upward towards the ceiling and downward towards the floor. So we have a little bit of neck articulations here. Let's do one more on this side. And then pause, simply release that right side, take left, over to the right where you can comfortably. You may find that one side feels different. I'm always a bit restricted on this side. That's my less dominant arm. Let's do one more, upward towards the ceiling, and then downward towards the floor. Take a moment, release. Now we're gonna heel toe out even wider. Same thing, hip hinging forward, right? Gripping the ground with those feet, soft knees. Right side is gonna hook over to left. Then we're gonna bend into this right knee. And I want you to think of the feet gripping the floor, kind of ripping the ground apart below you, getting deeper into that front line. Look upward towards the ceiling once again, and then down to the floor. Now, we're gonna shift into our left leg here, right? So the toes of the right foot are facing forward. Hold, look upward towards the ceiling. You're still breathing. Again, staying nice and planted. Instead of coming forward into that knee, pull your body weight back a little bit. And then take another breath. Inhale, on the exhale, shift one more time over to your side. Hold here 4 counts. Hold 1, 2, 3. On 4, shift, come center, both knees soft. Release, take a moment, come to stand, shake it out if needed. Once again, hip hinging. So this left side is going to come across over to our right. Then you're going to take that significant bend into the left knee. Angle, look upward towards the ceiling. And then downward towards the floor. So I don't want you to work into pain. Go with what your body allows today. And then shift. Right knee is bent. That left foot is gripping the ground, getting that nice lateral stretch. Take a breath. Deep inhale, exhale. Shift on that exhale back over to your right side. Hold in here. 4 counts as you're breathing. 1, 2, 3. On 4, soften into both knees. Gently release. Take a moment. Come to stand. Heel toe gently in. So we're going into a lunge. I'm going to go on a diagonal here. So I'm going to take my left leg forward first. You're going to have your long stick in front, right about chest height, and then hold it where the palms are facing forward. Take a moment, step back with the right foot. So you're in your lunge position, and then to create a little bit of stability as we add in rotation, I want you to take both hands and squeeze into the stick. So crush the stick. You'll feel your posterior line activate. And I want you to take a moment, right, go nice and slow. This right side is going to come down, hook to the floor, and then hold. Now the tendency is to have that left knee fall out, but I want you to pull that left knee in, hold this stick nice and close. Then as you come up out of the stretch, take your right hand forward, pat that shoulder, engage that lat, you're squeezing that glute. Left arm, you're gonna rotate. So eyes leave the head, get a little T-spine stretch. So you're gonna eye the arm and back as the hand is reaching. And then come back to center. Take a breath. Inhale, exhale on the exhalation. Reach. Follow the hand with your eyes, leading the head. Then take a moment. Come through center. And we switch. So, stick at chest height. Crush. Push into the stick. Right leg is forward. Left leg steps back. Find your focal point to create that stability. That left side, it's going to come down, hook to the floor. Again, the tendency is to have that knee fall out. Keep it in alignment with the hip. So, whoops, excuse me. So I lost that stability because I stopped crushing into the stick. Hey, that happens sometimes. Hold here, 4 counts. 1, 2, 3. On 4, slowly come up. Left hand, reach. Eyes leading the head. Come forward and breathe. Drive down through that left side. So this left arm is active. I'm pushing down into the stick. Slide that shoulder down and back, engaging that lat. Inhale, exhale, reach. And then slowly come through center, come to stand. So, long stick down. We're gonna work with our short stick now. Going into some kayaking. I love using the kayaking drills as part of my kettlebell warm-up. So I accidentally grabbed the 5-foot stick instead of the 4-foot. So this one is a little bit longer for me. I like using the shorter one, so I'm gonna have to modify slightly. So we're taking in our horse stance. In the stick mobility horse stance, you're gonna soften into the knees, and instead of having an anterior tilt, you're gonna take a moment and kind of scoop and tuck the pelvis under. So chest stays open, and parking the stick onto your right hip, start to kayak forward. So I like using the shorter stick because I could cup the bottom of the stick on each side and create a little bit more tension and go deeper into the stretch. But those of you that are using maybe your 6-foot stick, you could always, again, have the hands in a different position and kayak like so. So I'm pushing in with about 30% tension. Breathing, keeping the chest still primarily and the hips facing forward. And now pause, you're back on that right hip, and we're simply gonna reverse it up and back. Similar to going into backstroke in the pool. And as my arm is going back, I'm pushing up and creating a little bit of tension into the stick. Excellent. Stay with it. Let's go for 4 more. Back 1, 2, 3, and complete 4. Now, going just over to the right side. So to do this, you're going to start with the stick on the left hip, check your horse stance, and then press back on a diagonal. Inhale and exhale as you're drawing that right arm back. Let's go for 2 more here. Excellent. 1 more. Park it to the right hip and do the same thing on the left side. So we exhale as we're going back. Inhale as we return the stick towards the hip. Good. Let's do 2 more here. Reach back. Good. 1 more. And gently release. Take a moment, shake out your legs. We did these last class. We're going to go into our shoulder dislocates. I love these. I'm going to go on a diagonal. So common compensation patterns, people go into that anterior tilt, or all like fingers start to come off the stick. We want to stay nice and connected. Another thing that you'll see oftentimes is rib cage flaring or the chin dropping down towards the chest and the jutting forward. So we want to stay nice and upright, and with your shoulder dislocate, again, just go to what is comfortable for you today. So you're standing in your horse stance, you're gonna pull apart on the stick. That's gonna activate your posterior line. Chin stays neutral, shoulders down and back. Again, you only go to where you are comfortable. As the stick comes forward, you're gonna push into the stick. Pull apart. Again, all fingers staying attached. Come up, shoulders stay down and back, push into the stick. Good, let's do 3 more. Pull apart, you're breathing throughout, and you'll notice that with each rep, you could go a little bit deeper as we're working into that fascia. Pull apart, stay nice and upright, come forward, push into the stick. 1 more. Pull apart, breathe, come forward, keep those shoulders down, push into the stick, and release. Well done. So we are going to return to our longer stick, and if you do not have a kettlebell, you could supplement the kettlebell exercises with a dumbbell. Last week's class, I worked into the body weight windmill. I love the windmill because it's kind of weighted mobility, and it's a hip hinge in a different direction than our deadlift or our typical kettlebell swing. So we're going to perform and review unloaded, and then instead of top loading our kettlebell windmill, just because we're in the virtual space, and obviously it's a lot easier to kind of coach somebody in person when you really know more about their body and what issues they may have inhibiting their movement. For the sake of the class for today, we're going to bottom load our windmill. So first, to prime for the pattern, you're going to take your stick behind you, and you want it right between the shoulder blades. Palms are going to face forward. Now, because the camera flips me, I am going to pivot my toes to my right. So this is my left foot. I'm going to pivot. I think I have that correct. Now, taking the stick, squeezing into the stick. I'm going to send my left hip, similar to what we did in bow and arrow to start class, out towards my window first. So we're going to start off that hip hinge. Then the torso, my upper body, is going to start to follow that hinge. The right knee is going to soften, and then I'm going to hook my stick mobility stick to the floor right in front of the right foot. The chest is going to stay open, and my arm is stacked. Again, chest is open and gripping the ground with the feet. Now, you only go to like where you are personally comfortable in your windmill, and then to come out of it, initiate by activating the feet, working into the legs. You got your trunk of the body on, and then return to stand. When you return to stand, you're going to take that glute in, engage it, squeeze. So we have one more on this side. Begin that hip hinge to your left, and then at the same time that right knee softens, hook to the floor, angle, look upward towards the ceiling. When we go and we load our windmill bottom load, we're not going to look at our kettlebell at the bottom. We're still going to look at the unloaded arm. So you're looking upward, engage, work from the feet, work the legs, trunk of the body, and then come to stand. Excellent. Now we're going to take our stick down, and we're going to load our windmill with either a kettlebell or a dumbbell. I'm using 12 kg, which is about 26 pounds. So picking up the bell safely, square off first, then pivot the toes. So the glute activated here. I'm going to take the kettlebell now into the right hand with the palm facing forward. Taking my left arm up overhead now, make a fist. So I'm making a fist with my left hand. I'm going to pack that shoulder, engage that lat. So I have strength and stability from the wrist to the shoulder, to the hip, to the foot. And now creating that hip hinge, I'm going to eye my palm, hip hinging. The kettlebell is going to slide close to my right leg as I soften that right knee. I'm going to have it come to the ground. Pause here, right? Scan your body, chest is open. Remember what we talked about. Initiate with the feet, engage the legs, trunk of the body, core is on, come up, and stack. Perfect. Let's do one more. Look up at the fist. Begin that hip hinge. Slide the kettlebell down slowly inside the foot. It reaches the floor. Scan, take a breath. Inhale, exhale, slowly, slowly come to stand. Well done. So, kettlebell safely to the floor. Now we're going to prime our right side, meaning that right side is the side of the hip hinge. So we're taking the stick once again, upper back. Begin with the feet just slightly wider than hip width. Pivot the toes. Then we're going to take our hip hinge to the right. That left knee is going to soften, and the stick hooks to the floor. Everything is stacked. Pause here, take a moment, kind of Notice the differences between each side. And I don't do a very wide windmill stance. I want to focus on that stability. Come out of it, everything stacked. Good. Let's do one more on this side before we bottom load our windmill. Crush the stick, grip the ground with the feet, focusing on your alignment. Begin that hip hinge. This left side, that left knee is soft, right? You're laterally moving that upper body. Hold here. Grip the ground with the feet. Inhale, exhale. Come to stand. Stack. And then again, that glute is activated. So now we're going over to loading our bell. Pick up your kettlebell or dumbbell safely. Take your stance just slightly wider than hip width. Pivot the toes. Left palm, the kettlebell, right? Palm faces forward. Now, getting that alignment that we did on our other side, create a fist with your right hand. Take that palm up overhead. While you're here with that fist, pack that shoulder, engage the lat. Grip the ground with the feet first. Start that hip hinge. Remember, you're looking up at your right hand. Now that bell reaches for the floor. And again, work with where you're comfortable with depth. Inhale, exhale, create that tension through the core. Come up to stand. Love the way this feels. Let's do one more. Hip hinge, so that left knee is softening. Everything is stacked. Take a moment, grip the ground with the feet, use your legs, core on, and drive up to stand. Well done. Okay, so that was our windmill portion. Now we're going to go into loaded carry or marching in place. So my mat here is 6 by 8 and there are many, many ways. We need both of our sticks right now to load a pattern. You could wrap your kettlebell, 2 hands in front, holding it by the horns, or a goblet hold, marching in place. You could press the bell up overhead, overhead carry, marching in place, or bell down by your side. We're doing just single bell work here, and what we're going to do is prime our carry in or marching in place with stick mobility. 2 sticks going into a standing plank, and then elevating the knees, going into a marching pattern, and then we're going to take the sticks down after I time it and go into a standing marching in place drill with 1 bell by your side on the right and then on the left side. So taking both sticks, I'm going to kind of go a little bit on the diagonal here so I can see my clock. So your elbows are going to be just about in height with the shoulders, and then step your feet in. So if I'm head on, the sticks are going to be right to the side of the feet, and then I'm going to corkscrew the knuckles. So I'm going to rotate my knuckles inward so the bicep is kind of squeezing into the stick and shoulders are down and back, and then I want you to push into the floor. So when you push into the floor about like 70-80% of your strength, you're going to feel like you're in a standing plank. If you need to slide those elbows down just a little bit, by all means, please do. So create some abdominal pressure, and then you're going to elevate, marching in place, 1 knee at a time. So again, push into the floor. You should feel the connection with your mid-back. Breathe. So we have upper body engaged. You're dragging down, squeezing into the glute of that standing, stabilizing leg. Keep going. Breathe. Push into the floor just a little bit more of those 6. Maintain your posture. You're nice and upright. Last 5 counts. So you could also do these with a band on top of the feet. That's a great variation. And relax. Good. Sticks now to our side. And then safely pick up your kettlebell right hand. Okay. Now, instead of the shoulder popping forward, as you're standing tall, take that shoulder down and back. Gauge that lat. Plant the feet right below the hip line. Now, sometimes in marching, depending on the weight, this is a little bit lighter than what I usually march with. I create a fist with the opposite hand to create a little bit of cross-body tension. So you could either have your arm down by your side or create a fist with your left hand. So I've got my timer going, and we're going to begin now marching in place. So obviously limited space, but if you would like to go locomotion, you can march forward and back if you wish, personal to you. We have 30 seconds on this side, then we're going to go 30 seconds on the other side. We have 10 seconds left. Focus on your breath. Marches are sneaky, they get that heart rate up. Almost there. And take a moment, relax. Safely pass the bell over to your left side. Same thing before we start, you're standing tall. Shoulder down and back, focusing on our posture. Option to take the right arm, make a fist. Create that cross-body tension and begin to march. So you want to avoid significant leaning to one side. Obviously, because weight load is offset, there's going to be a little bit of a pull on our left side. Good. Flex the feet. If you want to go locomotion, again, you could march forward and you could reverse. Feel that core stability, hip stability. We're almost there. Just about 5 seconds. Excellent. One more. And recover. Well done. Take a moment, place the bell down, grab some water if you need it. I love marching variations on like light recovery days or as a primer. It's excellent. Okay, so last week we did the dumpy squat in prep for the goblet squat. This week we're going to do 3 4-count dumpy squats. I should have told you in the beginning of class that we needed access to a ceiling. I apologize that I did not mention that earlier. I'll make sure to put it in the description when I post it. We're going to prime with 3 dumpy squats. Then we're going to go 3 offset racked kettlebell squats, meaning we're going to rack the kettlebell to our right side, 3 squats. So again, we're getting some cross-body tension, a little bit of stability work, and then switch over to the left hand for 3 squats. So you're going to take your stick to the ceiling, a beam, whatever you have access to, and we're going to begin with our right hand on top. You're going to take the toes, slightly turn them out. Now the great thing about the dumpy squat is it's a great primer for any kind of loaded squat variation. So I want you to really feel connected throughout your descent down into the squat and as you're coming out of it. So pushing up into the ceiling. As you start to lower 4 counts down, down 1, you're watching your alignment with your pelvis. The elbows are going to start to come in. Shoulders are down and back, and then come out of it. Come to stand up. 1, 2, keep pushing. 3, 4. Good, 2 more. Drive up into the ceiling. About 70% of your strength. Come down, pause. No tension in the neckline through the back. Grip the ground with the feet. Come up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. 1 more. Down 1. Keep pushing. 2, 3. Hold at the bottom. Watch your alignment. Now drive up nice and slow. Up 1. Resist. 2. Feel that tension. 3. Don't forget to breathe. And 4. Great. Stick down. Last week, I went over how to clean the bell from the ground, so I will just quickly review that. If I'm cleaning with my left hand, my bell is between the arch of the feet. The lip of the bell is going to angle towards my right ankle. it's a leg drive, right? So it's not a bicep curl. I'm gonna hip hinge, leg drive. That shoulder stays packed. My elbow is gonna draw back, and then I'm gonna get into that proper rack position, like so. Now, if you do not know how to clean your kettlebell from the ground and you need some assistance to get into your rack, because we're gonna load the left side first, take the left hand with palm down, thumb back, then the right hand, leg drive, and assist it into the rack position. And the bell should be going across the palm down here on that diagonal. Now, we're gonna create tension on that right side, so make a fist. Slowly come down into your squat. Inhale, exhale, drive up. 2 more. Pull yourself into the squat. Inhale, exhale, come to stand. Again, lower, nice and controlled, go to what works best for you, and then drive up. Coming out of it, if you need assistance, other hand, and you lower the bell safely. Going into 3 squats, offset on that right side. So the bell is between the arch of the feet, left angled towards that left ankle. Right hand, hip hinge, clean the bell safely into that rack position, elbow in by your side. And again, nice strong neutral wrist. Other hand, make a fist, descend into your squat. Stay nice and centered with body weight. Inhale, exhale, drive up. We got 2 more. Bring yourself down, watch your alignment. Drive up, 1 more. Again, lower with control. Breathe, inhale, exhale, drive up. 2 hands if you need it. Take the bell back down safely. Well done. So I love using, again, the dumpy squat, priming for the kettlebell squat variations. Next exercise we're going to get into, I'm just going to do 3 and 3. We're going to build onto the Rdl. So single stick, we're going to take our stick into the right palm. I'm going to go on a diagonal here. So the right palm is facing up. Left hand is going to come across and press down, going across the midline of the body. So we're going to kind of create some anti-rotation, and we're lengthening the trunk of the body, really working some foot ankle stability and tapping into our posterior chain. So right palm faces up, right foot gripping the ground, elevate the left. As I go into the hip hinge, my left hand's going to come across. I'm going to push down on a diagonal, and my left heel is going to align with my seat. And I'm saying nice and squared, and then inhale, exhale, come up to stand. So let's do 1 more. Hip hinge forward. Now hold. Pause here. Create that tension. Inhale, exhale. Oops, come to stand. Now we're going to do Rdl, loading the Rdl. So the bell now is going to go into our left hand. And nope, I'm messing up, sorry. Got to remember which direction I'm going in. It's going to go on into the right, I apologize. So I'm going to come down. I have my kettlebell in the right hand, and you're going to take your stick on top of your left foot. So the left arm is going to stay lengthened now in front. You're going to pat that shoulder, engage that lat. Elevate the left foot. Find a focal point. So you're going to stay nice and squared, and you're going to go into that hip hinge. Kettlebell comes shy of the floor, or it can touch the floor, and then come to stand. Perfect. Let's do 1 more. Hip hinge. Find your focal point. Breathe. If you're not ready to load it, you don't have to load your Rdl. And then come to stand. Excellent. We're going to go over to the other side. I'm just going to grab a tissue. I'm sorry, seasonal allergies are going strong today. Okay, returning to the other side. I'm going to just pivot my body here. And now I have left palm facing up. Stick is leveraged across the body to the floor. Left foot is going to stay down this time. Right hand, as I hip hinge, I'm going to push down on that diagonal. So the body's going to want to rotate. I got anti-rotation, and I've got my core firing, gripping the ground with that left foot, squeezing through the seat. Inhale, exhale, come to stand. Let's do one more. Again, find your focal point. Hip hinge. Now pause here, hold. Stay connected, right? So we're squaring off the foot, the thigh, the hip. Inhale, exhale, come to stand. Now our kettlebell, safely pick it up, is going to be on the left side, and we're going to place our stick on top of our right foot. Right arm is lengthened, so the palm is a little bit lower than shoulder height. Standing tall, find your focal point. You're going to elevate that right foot. Left knee is soft, hip hinging forward. Breathe. If you want to perform it without loading it, you could do that. That's always an option. Come to stand. And we have just one more. Elevate the right foot, hip hinge. Create that tension. So you're pushing the foot into the stick and then pushing the stick down into the foot. Inhale, exhale. Come to stand. Excellent. Safely bring your kettlebell to the ground. Now, I wanted to do more, but can't believe how fast this class goes by. That's just one of my favorite RDL variations. I think pairing stick mobility with it is just a fantastic drill for creating full body connection and then stability and strength through the foot ankle complex up the posterior chain. Next week, we're going to go back and revisit our kettlebell swings and a few other exercises. So we're winding down now. We're going to take both sticks coming into a lunge. So I want you to place your sticks right in line with your hips. Take a good step forward with your left foot. Right leg goes back. In your lunge, I want you to squeeze your back right glute and then add just a little bit of rotation through the upper body. Breathe. Excellent. Come center. Pause for a moment. Now, you may need to wiggle with that back foot going back a little bit further, going deeper into lunge. Have a little traction with the upper body. And again, focus on your breathing. Then we're going to go into a standing hamstring stretch. So take a moment, a little bit of a forward lean into that left side and come to stand with assistance of the sticks. We're going to create train tracks on our shoulders. Left leg is forward, step back with that right leg, and we're going to square off here. Now, shoulders are down and back, so the leverage of the sticks helps to you want to take that rounding out. You want to focus on a clean hip hinge, chest open, and then take a moment, soften into your right back knee, and lift the toes of your front left foot. Stay with the stretch and breathe. Hold here. 4 more counts. Hold 1, 2, 3. On 4. Flatten that left foot. Come to stand. Sticks now, again, in line with the hips. Step your right foot forward. Left leg back. Hold up nice and high. Pause. Just a little bit of rotation inward and outward. Excellent. You're pushing down into the sticks. Take a moment, square off. Go deeper into the stretch. Keep those arms nice and long. Your neck should be relaxed. Chin neutral. Hold 4 counts. Hold 1, 2, 3. On 4, hinge. Come to stand. Sticks onto the shoulders. Right leg is forward this time, staggering that stance. Left leg is back. Breathe into it. So arms long, shoulders down and back. When you're ready, you're going to draw back, lift the toes of your right foot. Left knee is bent. Hold here. Remember, try to maintain nice length through the spine. 4 counts, hold 1, 2, 3, on 4. Slowly place the right foot flat, come to stand. Going down to 1 stick now. We're gonna go into kneeling monkey hang. So you're gonna take your stick to your left side, stand up nice and tall. Outside right leg is gonna cross over. Then you're gonna lower your left knee down to the floor. It's gonna be on a diagonal, like a little windshield wiper with that back shin and foot. Then your right hand is gonna come across, and your right hand is gonna pull and leverage. Allow your left hip to gently fall out to your side and come across. Breathe. I love this stretch. Slowly come out of it. And one more time, take a deep breath in. On your exhale, you're leveraging across with that right arm. Hold here. And then slowly come out of the stretch. Square off into a knee down lunge. Come to stand. And we do the same thing on the other side. So stick is to the right side. Outside left foot crosses over. Slowly take your right knee down to the floor. Left arm comes across. Pull. Get right into that lat. I love this. It feels so good. Breathe into your stretch. Slowly come out of it. We're going to go into it one more time. Out, the front foot is also turned out. Follow it through. Stay here. 4 counts. Hold 1, 2, 3. On 4. Gently release. Square off. Come to stand. Last exercise. So we're going to come down to the ground. I'm going to be first on my right side. And your left leg is going to be bent. It's going to cross over. The stick is going to be pushing on top of the right foot. I'm just going to slide in just a little bit. Okay, perfect. Now, if you need a pillow, you could use that. We're going to take our top hand and then open like a book. Eyes leave the head. I love this stretch. I do this one often. Great for the T-spine, for the hip line, and through the chest. And then slowly close. Now we're going to sweep our arm up and then create a big circle. Hold here for a moment. We're going to go for a longer hold in a second. Reverse it. Inhale, exhale. One more. This time we're going to hold it. Push into the stick, both directions, up and down. Sweep your arm up, 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 and back. And hold here. Great. Stay here. 4 counts. Hold 1, 2, 3. On 4, begin to reverse the way that you came. Good. Now, coming up, other side. So, top right leg folds over, foot is flexed, knee in line with the hip. We're leveraging the stick on the top of the foot. Other hand has the stick pushing down, tension. First one, we're just gonna open. Get a nice stretch. You may find one side is tighter. This is always my tighter side. Breathe into it. Slowly come out of it. Now we're going to have a big sweep of our arms. So sweep, eyes leading the head, reach behind, come around, hold here. Just relax, right? You worked hard for the past 45 minutes. and reverse it. We got one more. Big sweep with the arm, reach, reach, reach. Push down into the stick. We're still 4 counts. Hold 1, 2, 3, on 4, reverse, and release. Safely come up. Thank you so much for joining me for today's class. I'll be back next Tuesday. And I'm always open to feedback. I'm at Kettlebells88 on Instagram. You could reach out with any questions you may have, or you could reach out to Stick Mobility. Now, they also have, this was class 301, so that's amazing. There's 300 classes that have already been uploaded to YouTube and Instagram that you could use as a reference. And then also make sure to check out the Movement Made Better podcast. Dennis and Neil are fantastic. They always have amazing guests on. So thank you again. Hope you have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you next week.